Hey boys and girls, this is Wild Man Willis here, and I'm doing my review of Night 1 of WrestleMania 37. They had a crowd this year, and they actually had some real good matches on here this Night 1, compared to how terrible last year's WrestleMania was. This was a vast improvement. Well, they had problems because it was raining, and they almost thought they was going to have a tornado, and they almost thought they would have had to do everything tomorrow night. So luckily it stopped raining so they could have the show. So Lashley versus Drew was the first match of the night for the WWE title, and they let Lashley win the match. And I was glad about that. Everybody had a feeling that Drew was going to win the title in front of a crowd, but nope, they kept it on Lashley. So they broke up the Hurt business for a reason, and that was the reason why. We had the tag team turmoil match. Natty and Tamina end up winning, so they fight the tag team champions the next night. That match wasn't nothing to write home to because it was a bunch of made up tag teams that seemed like they was just thrown together. And they actually let Cesaro get his big moment at WrestleMania, his big win against Seth Rollins. Of course, you know, Seth always puts on a good match. I'm not a fan of his, but still he puts on good matches. And he let Cesaro win, so I was happy about that. Put the Universal title on Cesaro. AJ Styles almost beat the New Day for the titles. I was happy about that because I can't stand the New Day. They're getting corny now. So I was glad that they took the belts off of them. Almost came in like the giant he was supposed to be. They didn't make him sell for nobody or nothing. He just came in there and destroyed the New Day. So I was happy about that. And they had a steel cage match, Braun versus Shane McMahon. I thought that they was going to have Braun lose the stupid way to Shane somehow, but they logically did the right thing, and Shane took a hell of a bump off that top of the cage when Braun threw him off the top onto the ground. And I was just surprised that Shane would take that hard bump. Usually when he take a bump, he usually flying on something outside, and usually a crash pad or something, but it wasn't no pad on this one. And Damian Priest and Bad Bunny beat Miz and Morrison. Kind of figured that was going to happen. That was the letdown match of the night, so we had to bring people down, but people was getting hyped about that match. To me, that was one of the worst matches on the show tonight, but Priest and Bunny won. Miz had the title a couple of weeks ago, only to end up losing to Bad Bunny in the tag team match at WrestleMania. Damn Miz. He's such a good company, man. Give him up for him to be taking losses like that. And Bianca Belair beat Sasha Banks. I'm so glad about that. They put on a hell of a good match. They actually gave the belt to somebody people was actually rooting for to win, but it was still some let's go Banks, let's go EST chants out there. So it was some Banks fans out there still. But near the end of the match, Bianca took her braid and whipped the hell out of the side of Sasha Banks. You can see a big old gash on the side of her rib cage, as hard as Belair hit her with that with her braid. So I'm so glad they let her win. But we'll see what happens, what they do tomorrow night, because Roman Reigns is in the main event. So Vince gave y'all what y'all wanted with Bianca keep winning the title. So Vince got to get his. So Roman is gonna come out that joint with the belt. Be nice if Daniel Bryan won so you can get that yes chant at the end, but probably not gonna happen. But tonight was a good show. They made up for last year's WrestleMania, and I enjoyed this year's WrestleMania. So this is Wild Man Will signing off. See you tomorrow.